Welcome to this Yoga Nidra, resting as deep stillness and silence. This guided practice will gently lead your attention inwards, allowing the activity of the mind to still along the way, while going ever deeper towards the state of conscious deep sleep or Yoga Nidra. Lie comfortably on your back in Shavasana. Support the body with any props to ensure the body may be relaxed without distraction. Placing a bolster or similar soft item, such as a pillow, under the thighs or knees, enough height to allow the low back to relax. Ensure the heels of the feet are touching the floor or other support. Place a neck roll or a rolled towel under the neck, just enough to fill in the curvature of the neck while keeping it neutral. Cover the body with a blanket, as the body will cool as it relaxes deeply. Check the position of the head. Feel that it is aligned with the neck and spine. Allow your feet to be a comfortable distance apart, so that if you turn the feet inward, the toes would not touch. Cover the eyes with an unscented eye pillow, mask, or soft dark cloth. Place the arms a comfortable distance from your sides, palms up if it's comfortable. If not, then allow the palms to be down. Take a moment, make any adjustments as needed to ensure maximum comfort of the body, as if tending to a sacred process. Harmony between the left and right sides of the body. Be comfortable and let go. Become aware of your body, of your whole body. Awareness from the head down to the toes, and the toes up to the head. Remain present to any sensations in your body. You cannot do this wrong. Be aware of your body. Know that you have the ability to move your body, but that you are not using that ability. Let all movement transform into stillness. Perhaps setting an intention. I can move my body, but I choose to remain still for the duration of the practice. Be aware of stillness throughout your whole body. Be aware of the stillness, of the ability to move, but that you are not moving. Scan the body as if you're very interested, curious about what is there. Perhaps the body is felt as a body of skin, muscle, bones, or maybe an awareness of feeling, such as sensation or energy. Whatever your experience of your body is, it is perfect in this moment. Now bring your awareness to the top of the head, down to the forehead, eyebrows and eyes, cheekbones and cheeks. Be aware of the nostrils and feel the flow of air in and out of the nostrils. The corners of the mouth, chin and jaw. Be aware of the neck and throat. Allow attention to move to the shoulders and the upper arms, elbows and lower arms. Become aware of the wrists and of the hands, the fingers and the tips of the fingers. Awareness of the fingertips and the fingers and of the hand and wrists, lower arms and the elbows, upper arms and the shoulders. Be aware of the chest. Explore the chest region. Awareness of the spine, the abdominal region. Become aware of the hips and the upper legs, knees, lower legs, and ankles, the feet and the toes, the tips of the toes. Be aware of the tips of the toes and the toes, the feet, ankles, the lower legs, and the knees, the upper legs, hips, aware of the abdomen, and notice what is there. The chest and the spine, just feeling. Become aware of the shoulders, upper arms, the elbows, and lower arms, wrists, and the hands, fingers, and the tips of the fingers. Aware of the fingertips and the fingers, the hands, and the wrists, the lower arms, and the elbows, upper arms, and the shoulders. Be aware of the neck and the throat. Be aware of the jaw and the chin, the corners of the mouth, awareness of the nostrils and the feeling of air moving in and out. Be aware of the cheeks and the cheekbones. Be aware of the eyes and the eyebrows. Be aware of the forehead and of the top of the head. Aware of the whole body, whole body. Be aware of the body as one whole being. Allow your attention to come to rest on the forehead. Be aware of the point between the eyebrows. Be aware of the hollow of the throat. Right shoulder. Right elbow. Wrist. Tip of the right thumb. Tip of the right index finger. Tip of the right middle finger. Tip of the right ring finger. Tip of the right little finger. Right wrist. Elbow. Shoulder. Hollow of the throat. Left shoulder. Left elbow. Wrist. Tip of the left thumb. Tip of the left index finger. Tip of the left middle finger. Tip of the left ring finger. Tip of the left little finger. Left wrist. Elbow. Shoulder. Hollow of the throat. The space between the breasts. The right breast. The the space between the breasts, the left breast, the space between the breasts, the navel center, the lower abdomen, right hip, right knee, ankle, tip of the right big toe, tip of the right second toe, tip of the right middle toe, tip of the right fourth toe, tip of the right little toe, ankle, knee, hip, the lower abdomen, the left hip, knee, ankle, tip of the left big toe, tip of the left second toe, tip of the left third toe, tip of the left fourth toe, tip of the left little toe, ankle, knee, the left hip, lower abdomen, navel center, the space between the breasts, the hollow of the throat, the point between the eyebrows, breathe as though the whole body is breathing, exhaling from the crown of the head down through the spinal column, down to the toes. Breathe as though you're inhaling from the toes up to the crown of the head. Exhale from the crown down to the toes. Inhale from the toes up to the crown. Continue to exhale from the crown down to the toes. Inhale from the toes up to the crown of the head, going through the spine each time. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the ankles. Inhale from the ankles up to the crown of the head. Continue to exhale from the crown of the head down to the ankles. Inhale from the ankles up to the crown of the head. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the knees. Inhale from the knees up to the crown of the head. Continue to exhale from the crown of the head down to the knees. Inhale from the knees up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the perineum at the base of the spine. Inhale from the perineum at the base of the spine up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the navel. Inhale from the navel up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the space between the breasts. Inhale from the space between the breasts up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the throat. Inhale from the throat up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the bridge between the nostrils. Inhale from the bridge between the nostrils up to the crown. Exhale from the space between the eyebrows down to the bridge between the nostrils. Inhale from the bridge between the nostrils up to the space between the eyebrows. Continue to exhale from the space between the eyebrows down to the bridge between the nostrils. Inhale from the bridge between the nostrils up to the space between the eyebrows. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the bridge between the nostrils. Inhale from the bridge between the nostrils up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the throat. Inhale from the throat up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the space between the breasts. Inhale from the space between the breasts up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the navel. Inhale from the navel up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the perineum at the base of the spine. Inhale from the perineum at the base of the spine up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the knees. Inhale from the knees up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the ankles. Inhale from the ankles up to the crown. Exhale from the crown of the head down to the toes. Inhale from the toes up to the crown. Be aware of the space between the eyebrows. Breathe as though you are breathing from the space between the eyebrows. Be aware of the space at the throat. Be aware of the space between the breasts, sinking down into the space, deep into the silence. Let go of all doing, empty. Go deep into the stillness and the silence in the space between the breasts. Rest here. This voice will speak again in 5 minutes. Be aware of the space between the breaths. Be aware of the deep stillness and silence that is in that space. Allow your attention to hold on to that deep stillness and silence. Be aware of the space at the throat, bringing with you that deep stillness and silence. Be aware of the space between the eyebrows. Notice how quiet the mind is, while remaining aware of that deep stillness and silence that is underneath, behind, or subtler than the mind. Notice how smooth the breath is, while continuing to be aware of that deep stillness and silence that is inside of, deeper than the breath. Notice how still the body is, while holding awareness of that deep stillness and silence. Continuing to remain aware of that deep stillness and silence that is underneath, behind, inside, or subtler than the quiet mind, the smooth breath, and the still body. Become aware of where the body is, on the mat, in the room. Begin to invite gentle movement into your fingers and toes. Move your fingers and toes, hands and feet, your arms and legs, perhaps stretching the body, maybe bringing the knees into the chest and rocking gently. If the impulse is to remain lying down, stay here. Eventually roll over onto whichever side calls in an easy fetal position, bringing that deep stillness and silence with you. Come to a comfortable seated position. No rush. Slowly open your eyes. Bring that deep stillness and silence with you. Keep it with you, knowing that you may often return to this place of deep stillness and silence. It's always there.